What's up, guys? PJRandall here, hijacking a Chicken Sandwich's feed, bringing you some awesome Call of Duty footage.
Call of Duty?
Oh, I'm sorry, Kaneko Man.
Nope.
I forgot. Mirror of Edge.
Mirror's Edge?
Yeah, Mirror's Edge. Bringing you some quality Mirror's Edge gameplay with, you know, robots and whatnot.
You mean Titans?
Yeah. Well, robots, Titans, pretty much the same thing.
Anyways, what's up, guys? Bringing another Titanfall gameplay here with special guest PJRandall. We just wanted to make a vid, talk to you a bit, say how it's going,
Check in with you, see how your mother's doing.
how's your mother? Word to your mother.
That's good to hear. I'm glad that our lovelies out there are having a good grand old time with their mothers.
Grand old time with the mothers. Are they playing Scrabble?
They're either playing Scrabble, Boggle, or Dominoes. One of those.
Yeah, I love playing Bones.
Bones? Oh, Dominoes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't played that in years.
I haven't played it in years either.
Man. Talk about the gameplay a little bit. It's on Fracture, and I'm using the R101C. It's pretty good. You guys enjoy that gameplay while you listen to us talk.
Our dulcet tones.
Our dulcet tones. Yeah. It almost sounds like we're on alcohol at this moment because we're
so dulcet.
We're so dulcet and rambling, but we're not. It's just kind of more of a candid thing going on here.
A chicken sandwich after dark.
Chicken sandwich after dark. Oh, I remember. What is it? That one show.
Loveline?
No. Nocturnal Emissions.
Oh yeah, Cinematech, Nocturnal Emissions.
Yeah, I used to love that.
That was tremendous because it always had that weird Japanese game footage like you know, a whole bunch of weird, obscure games.
I know, and then it had some comic games, and it showed trailers, I do believe, for some games.
Or just odd moments from even games that... Because I remember being really weirded out by this one scene with juggling chainsaw clowns, and then I ended up playing through Dead Rising, and I'm like, oh, this is from that game.
Yeah. Then
I never did beat it.
And then also, I think that's where we got our first peek at like Choaniki and
yeah,
the Quest for the Holy Protein.
Anything that could have been considered strange back then.
And then what was it? Digital Devil Saga was like on there, and then
a lot of actually our favorite games. Some of them now.
Yeah.
I've always wanted. We need to do a Let's Play of Choaniki for SNES.
Yeah.
SNES or PS1. I mean, I think I can get a copy of the PS1 one. You can get it for virtual, whatever the PS3 one is, PS1 Classics. And I'm pretty sure we could find it for SNES too, probably.
Yeah. And then I mean, there's so many great things on there, and like I don't think it was 100% video games because
there was like there were I still don't know how to pronounce those gravure. I don't. Anyways, it was just slow motion bikini chicks dancing around.
I think that was specifically the After Dark section because it would it would feature a lot more scantily clad animations like from like Rumble Roses and DOA, and then a whole bunch of like foreign games like the what was it?
Sexy Parodius, I think, was some.
Like there was the one that was like a whole bunch of water sports. It was kind of like what Dead or Alive Ultimate, what Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball 2 turned into. Was
right, like it had them balancing on the beach balls in the water,
and then bumping each other's butts, trying to knock each other off the platforms.
Yeah,
and I mean there was a lot of cool stuff on there, and like I really miss G4.
Well, like I miss Tech TV G4.
Oh, the G4 Tech TV. I miss
the screensavers. Leo Laporte, my boy.
Mm-hmm.
I miss
X-Play and whatnot, but
Extended Play.
I never actually got to watch it when it was Extended Play.
The last episode of Extended Play I remember watching, I think, was... You remember Amped Freestyle Snowboarding for Xbox?
Yeah.
That was one of the killer apps that I wanted whenever I got my Xbox.
Like, I remember the first episode of X-Play I ever watched was, it had, what was it, Glitch?
glitch. It was like a Ratchet and Clank style.
Yeah, it was like Metal Arms glitch in the system.
Yeah.
That game. I remember that was like the first episode I ever watched, and I was like, I love this kind of thing. But the thing about it is like the reason why I say G4 is because like it had shows like Judgment Day and the Electric Playground.
Right, and that was all cool and everything, and G4 Icons, and those were great and everything. But then what I ended up remembering from G4 is like, oh, it's that channel that shows cops and cheaters all the time.
I know, but then on the other side we got Ninja Warrior too.
This is true. We wouldn't have seen something like that if not for it.
And I never thought I would be rooting for foreign athletes as much as like whenever I would watch Ninja Warrior and I'd have my favorite athletes, favorite competitors come on. You know, like they were considered like
the ones that would come the closest.
And the favorites, if you will.
Yeah.
And oh man, like I really loved everything. Like that was like my favorite channel to watch. It was between there and like that Cartoon
Network, and
and their Anime Unleashed was pretty good too.
Yeah, that was the first place I think we got our taste of Cromartie High School.
Mm-hmm.
We got I think we watched
they had
Evangelion.
They had ROD TV.
ROD the TV. Oh My Goddess. There was a lot of really good series on that.
Yeah, and I was
even more so than Toonami. At least more obscure stuff than Toonami.
Yeah. And well, that was more back in the Tech TV days, and
yeah,
and the screensavers, and
I do definitely miss it.
Yeah, that is like, but if you really think about it, if you think about the natural evolution of how things have happened like this, we get most of that stuff like via YouTube channels.
Yeah,
and like Rev3 Games, where Adam Sessler went, but he now resigned.
Right. But at the same time, it's like on YouTube, you can go around and you check out, you follow whoever you like, Markiplier and the Pewds and all that, and you're likely to find, different games. But it's like whenever you'd watch Cinematech Nocturnal Emissions, you would always it was just a complete grab bag. Because you weren't finding your own programming, it would always be a surprise.
Yeah. And then that's kind of one thing I'd like to talk about, like on YouTube, is that like Tech TV and G4 like are kind of no longer needed in a sense,
but they're sorely missed.
They're sorely missed, but like shows like Cinematech specifically is really where
it exposed me to a lot of games that I really loved.
Yeah, and you really can't find that on YouTube, because what happens is you're sitting there watching Cinematech, and then it gives you a grab bag, whereas when you search on YouTube, you're finding stuff willingly. You're going out looking at it, whereas Cinematech can show you something you didn't know about.
Oh yeah, stuff you didn't know you liked.
You can kind of do that on YouTube, but it's all like, related search, this and that.
Right.
But it's not going to give you the grab bag per se.
Right. You're not going to roll the dice and say, oh wow, I didn't even know that I wanted an RPG about guitar playing robots.
Mm-hmm. Another one I think was like, what is it, Guitar Man?
Guitar Man, yes. That was. I still have never got to play it.
Yeah. Like we could sit here and gush about all the games it showed.
We really could. We're quite over time right now, but
I know. But
we're just staring at the black screen right now, hopefully enraptured by our dulcet tones.
Nah, I'll probably toss on a second gameplay here, and we'll just keep on going.
Keep it rolling. All right.
Yeah, keep it rolling and enjoy the good times.
And the good tones.
And the good dulcet tones. The thing to remember about, though, is the reason why I think I like Tech TV and G4 before Cops and Cheaters was they had like a lot of the personalities on the shows, like
right. Adam Sessler, Tommy Tallarico, Leo Laporte.
Like I can't think of Tommy Tallarico's partner in crime.
Yeah, because I liked him better too.
Yeah, I know, but but I only know Tommy Tallarico because he did the music for Mario Paint.
No, that was Kazumi Totaka.
Oh.
Tommy Tallarico did the music for Color a Dinosaur on the NES.
And Earthworm Jim.
Yes, and Earthworm Jim. I think he did several Shiny games.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe MDK. I don't know.
It's one of those things like we look back on nostalgia, and it was, before like we had broadband internet widely available, we were able to watch these shows that gave us information and reviews on things. Where now all we have to do is look up like Machinima or IGN.
Talk to your phone and it'll say, "Oh yeah, this game's good."
Yeah,
essentially.
It's like the technology's gotten smart, but you got to think that we
didn't have, even before then, it was magazine reviews or nothing.
Yeah, I know, like
EGM
and EGM2 and Tips and Tricks magazine.
I was a big fan of Tips and Tricks.
GamePro. Oh man,
that was my dream, was to be a writer for GamePro.
Yeah, I mean, like anybody watching this video who isn't like in their late 20s or into their 30s will not know any of this.
Right.
I mean, we're in the midst of a generation where information came from magazines and before like G4 and Tech TV, and it would be one of those things where it's like you're on the playground and it's like, did you know you can do Street Fighter moves in Mega Man X? No way! How'd you do that? Oh well, I got the little water here.
Yeah, I got it out of Nintendo Power,
or I got it out of,
or EGM2 or whatever.
Or, hey, did you know there was a secret right here in Donkey Kong Country 2? And how to get, like, 99 lives? Oh, how'd you do that? Well, I looked in Tips and Tricks and found it. This is before the advent of, like, GameFAQs and...
Exactly. I think we keep shifting back farther.
I know, like eventually this will become a full podcast.
I know.
And then...
it's actually funny. I was talking to, I think, you yesterday. We were talking about the Game Gear. I remember I was the only person other than my cousin that I knew that had a Game Gear. And we used to, all the time, I would go to school and I would see kids playing Super Mario Land and, Wave Race and stuff like that, and I'd be like, I want to play that so bad. Guess I'll just have to play my awesome color handheld. Play my Sonic games, play my Power Rangers.
And then we're all over there with our Game Boys. Guess what? We get more than 3 hours of battery life.
Oh, you didn't get 3 hours.
Well,
you never got 3 hours.
I'm just saying, like I'm sitting there playing through Pokemon, and I'm sitting there like, oh, I'm at the 40-hour mark on my batteries. Hold on.
Yeah. Yeah. I had to. I was a 10-year-old. I was legally obligated to have a Game Boy whenever Pokemon came out.
I know, like we all were. And
if you owned a link cable, you were a god.
Tell me about it. I worshipped this kid forever, and he's just like, nope, can't use my link cable. I'm like,
I was a little prick.
and I had to go get my own link cable, and then and had a lot of fun with Pokemon.
I grew out of that.
Yeah.
I was like, I almost used real name. Is that an okay thing? I don't know. I was like, Steve, we finally got Pokemon Diamond. Tell you what, you can use my link cable now.
Like, I only have red. It's not fair.
No, it was the wireless one. It was a joke.
Yeah.
But So, in the comments, tell me, what was your first Pokemon game?
What was your favorite Pokemon from your first Pokemon game?
What was your least favorite Pokemon from your first Pokemon game? And the absolute middle of your favoritism of either side. The one that you were most middling about.
I have to say, Pokemon Red, I rocked with the Nidoking.
I know, you've always been a fan of him. Let's see, my favorite at the time was probably Blastoise, but I think Venusaur now. The one that I could just not care anything about at all is Magmar. He's one of the only good fire types, but I still don't like his design, so...
Well, I was the kind of person who'd love to go out and get the
hard to find ones.
The hard to find ones like Magmar, Electabuzz, Kangaskhan.
Genghis Grill.
Yes.
That sounds awesome.
And then, but like, I liked my horned Pokemon like Nidoking, Tyranitar, Rhydon.
Yeah,
it's like I rock it pretty hard.
Steve's rocking the horny team.
Yeah. Guess what? My Nidoking can use Surf. It was ridiculous.
It is. It is. It's still ridiculous. Did they ever retcon? Can Charizard fly now?
Yeah.
He couldn't in the first gen, right?
No, he couldn't because he was strict fire at the time, and then they retconned him and gave him a flying type.
Was that in Fire Red?
I think so. I think they gave him a flying type. I don't know. I'd have to look up on my Pokedex on.
Bust out your dex.
Yeah. Well, this has been a really long video, and I'm almost tempted just to make it an hour-long podcast and put it on YouTube.
Right.
Let this thing upload all night long.
Absolutely, Jim.
Outrageous! Watching Batman Braving the Bold.
Another great thing that people didn't appreciate while it was on.
I know.
Myself included. I came in toward the tail end, but it was Aquaman won me over.
Yeah, John DiMaggio. Bender! Marcus Phoenix!
Outrageous!
Outrageous! I shall tell you a story. It's like a brave storyteller. Very jolly.
He was Herman Melville.
He was!
Without the suicide.
I know.
Or maybe, I don't know. They ended this... Didn't he?
No, that was, what was his name?
Ernest Hemingway.
Ernest Hemingway.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Without the suicide.
Either one. He was also Herman Melville without suicide.
I don't know if Herman Melville did suicide.
I don't think he did, but he was all... That just means he was default Herman Melville.
I know. Oh man, like... I mean, we could still gush over a lot of stuff.
Let's just gush. Let's, Monster Hunter. We've been playing Mon Hunt.
Yeah.
I finally got this guy into it.
I know. Like, and it's one of my favorite games too. The only thing I don't really like about it is playing alone.
Well, like, cause you don't have the Wii U.
I don't have the Wii U. And the thing about it is playing alone. It increases the difficulty by like twofold, because like if you're fighting a gigantic monster, the monster will bounce between players at a time. That way, it give you time to recover.
Right.
But if you're like facing something like a Koropeko, which summons another monster, that means you've got two monsters on you that you're sitting there dodging while you're trying to sharpen your blade or take a drink or something. I'm sitting there, I'm like, shut up, Koropeko, stop calling the Jaggies. And those Jaggies call Jaggies.
And then you get a great Jaggy, and then the Koropeko calls a Raytheon.
All of a sudden you're like, no! Monster army! I was like, this is supposed to be multiple people going against one monster, not multiple monsters coming against one person.
You know, you're actually playing in easy mode doing that, right?
I know, but still, it's like...
the health, as long as you have one other person in the party, the health quadruples no matter how many people you have.
Yeah, but the thing about it is still like the power of the team is greater than the sum of its players.
Right.
When it comes down to
absolutely,
because teamwork is the real power in the game, because it allows you, it affords you a lot.
Right. Like me, my favorite weapon for team play is the hunting horn, because I can buff my buddies. And then I go in and I smash some faces with my giant hammer.
And break the armor, too.
And
then I generally run dual swords.
You go in, you cut off wings, you cut off tails, you slice up their chest pieces, etc.
And I'm pretty much the main damage dealer. Mm-hmm. And then our third party member is... he is our tank, quote-unquote.
Running sword and shield?
We're running sword and shield, but he also has the best armor, too. And he's generally the best tactician when it comes to playing.
Right. Well, he has the most experience. I've been playing since the PSP, Freedom 2 and then also Freedom Unite.
Well, I'm talking specifically Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate.
Oh, yeah. And just regular Try. He played the crap out of Try.
I know, but like I looked at his play hours. He played 120 hours. Mm-hmm. I'm like, wow.
I only have, 50, was it? I can't remember. You told me the last time.
You're like 42.
Yeah. Well, that's close to 50.
And I'm up, to 10 or 15 hours.
Yeah.
So I'm getting up there. It's just... getting equipment is the hardest part, and upgrading is almost a necessity.
Right.
And the drops aren't what exactly you need. It's like playing World of Warcraft, except you're looking for material drops over...
You're like, why can't I find rune cloth?
I know. Well, I'm talking like you're looking for mats just to build, and they may not drop.
Right, and there's you can't just find weapons, you can't just
everything has to be... Well, you can buy weapons, but they're all the base weapons.
Yeah, the base weapons, but still.
And then, and just, like, everything about it is...
it's hardcore.
It's very hardcore. It's a hardcore game, and for it to be... It's one of the most hardcore games I've ever played. And because it's a survival game, it's, well, somewhat survival, because... there's many things you have to maintain while you're playing.
Right. Like, if you don't learn to dodge, you're not going to live.
Well, I'm talking more like sharpening weapons,
keep your weapons
keep your stamina up.
Right.
Also,
you started using dash juice?
No, I haven't found any.
Oh.
Anyways, then if you're in a special area like cold or too hot, you have to maintain like a cool beverage or a hot beverage to keep yourself warm. Otherwise, either your life's going to get drained or your stamina's going to be weakened. And then, then you have to go out and hunt the monsters, and then when you're hunting them, you go into different sections of the stage, and you start fighting them, and they may move on to another area of the map, and you have to paint them, like with a paintball.
Or go search every area.
And sometimes they're moving through areas, so you may even miss them, too.
Right.
So that's why painting is so important. Then
one thing that's a lifesaver though with Ultimate is the fact that you can lock onto them, because that really helps you track them back down.
Yeah.
Even if they're hidden.
And then and then the fights are just brutal. Like a boss. Like if you've played World of Warcraft and you've taken down raid bosses, they are nothing by comparison to what some of these high-end monsters will be. Like, I haven't played high-end monsters, but like the starting monsters, like the first bosses, they're so difficult. Like,
right, and part of that's learning how to dodge, learning their movements and stuff, but also part of it is just like in WoW. We were talking about this the other day. In WoW, you can just sit there and sufficiently high armor and stuff. You can just sit there and soak the damage, but in Monster Hunter, you're not going to be, because you get knocked down so easily, you're not going to be doing anything if you don't learn how to get out of the way.
And status effects, are
Poison. I've never played a game where poison is more lethal.
And then stunning.
Right.
Like you get knocked down and stunned, and you get back up.
You're pretty much an easy target at that point.
Oh yeah, and then there's so much. There's really so much to that game, and then you can. It's so good. I recommend anybody who wants to be a hardcore gamer play Monster Hunter, or me and him were talking Dark Souls. If we could get a game that's cross between Dark Souls and Monster Hunter, that would be like the most hardcore of games.
That would be pretty awesome.
If anybody believes that they're a hardcore gamer and only play games like Call of Duty.
Or Mirror's Edge.
Mirror's Edge is kind of like on the borderline of a hardcore game because it's.
Oh no, I meant Mirror's Edge with robots.
Oh, you're talking about Titanfall. Titanfall, like to me, if you're, I would say it's a little bit more hardcore than Call of Duty, but it's not necessarily.
Right. I get what you're saying. I was mostly joking.
Yeah.
Also, since we're on our soapboxes right now, give me a new Time Splitters.
Seriously.
Give me a new Time Splitters. Port the GameCube. What was the GameCube one we played?
Future Perfect.
Yeah, we played the crap out of Future Perfect. Put it on PSN and Xbox Live and Nintendo Network and everything.
Steam.
Coleco.
No, I'm telling you,
Game Gear.
Release that thing with Steam. Give it the Steam Workshop, and we will see.
Right, that would be awesome. But at the same time, I feel like if you're playing Time Splitters, it feels like if you're not playing Time Splitters with a gamepad, you're doing it wrong.
Well,
that seems like.
Well, I know, but Time Splitters also was one of the many first-person shooters on the GameCube, and I think it might have been on PS2 as well, that didn't have a jump feature. And I mean
that was the reason I bought Time Splitters 2 whenever I got my PS2, or I guess about a year after. It was after it started getting cheap, and I played Time Splitters 2, and I'm like, what the crap is this? There's no jump button. I'm out.
Yeah, but I loved Time Splitters because it was actually done by the development team that did GoldenEye.
Yeah. And then going back, and it's it feels like Doom.
Yeah.
You know, that's the not having a jump button doesn't hurt it. And as stupid as I was at the time, going back whenever I was a kid and I'd play Ocarina of Time, I'm like, I don't have a jump button. What the crap is this? Because it was so ingrained in my. Whenever I was a young child, I was 4 years old and I got a Genesis, and I had, I think, 2 games for like a year or two, and it was Sonic 2 and Aladdin.
Mm-hmm.
And I played the crap out of them, and I always rented games like that. So like whenever I got to PlayStation level, and I remember reading EGM2 and reading about Twisted Metal 2, it blew my mind that you had so many different functions, and I couldn't figure out how it worked, because in my mind it was so attuned to platformers.
Yeah. And even whenever I think like hardcore gaming, platformers are also a type of hardcore gaming. Fighting games are hardcore if you get really into the meta of the fighting games. It's like I just bought Third Strike today, and I love it.
He's wrecking my crap over here.
Like playing Remy. Like I've never done well with Guile, but Remy's a Guile clone, and I was just wrecking face with him.
I love Dudley, but he plays a lot different in 4 than 3.
Yeah, and it's just a lot like hardcore gaming. It's really hard to definitely put a definition on it.
And it's hard to use that term without throw it around without sounding like a douchebag.
I know, but whenever an easy way to determine hardcore gaming really is level of skill, and
how much skill it takes to get good at the game.
Now Twitch reflexes is kind of a skill, but it's not really. But whenever you can do muscle memory, like on playing a fighting game, and know how to get all your combos off,
it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I can do Hadokens for all day,
Mm-hmm. But going in and doing a 5 or 6 hit combo on Street Fighter is pretty good. Instead of
that's your basic combo.
Jump, kick, duck, kick. Punch. Oh, I'm gonna do a super move, and it's not and it's actually chained into, and then doing something that's chained into a combo instead. Then, and that's really, skill is what really is. Like Call of Duty, and I'm just gonna use Call of Duty for that because that is the biggest game on the MLG circuit that is first-person shooter. Yeah, a lot of people win money from it, and yes, a lot of people have had practice, but a lot of what those Call of Duty guys know is not necessarily skill, but knowledge. It's knowledge of spawns, knowledge of paths, knowledge of weapons.
And part of it's Twitch reflexes.
It is part of it is Twitch reflexes.
That's why I hate shotguns.
Yeah, and
they have always been the bane of my existence.
But get into games like League of Legends and StarCraft.
Also, games I'm terrible at.
Practice. And games like those, also on the MLG circuit and whatnot like that. And those guys, they have
even it's not necessarily muscle memory, but I know a lot of what has to go into StarCraft and League both are knowledge of builds. You build order for whenever you're starting a StarCraft match. Your item order that you're going to build your items in for League.
Also, you got to know knowledge of your laning and paths on maps and whatnot.
Right. Absolutely, Jim.
Absolutely. Now, another form of hardcore would be MMOs. And I know we talked about World of Warcraft, and we were talking about the difference between Monster Hunter and World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft is still a very hardcore game because it does because there is a lot of knowledge you do have to have about.
Right. And it's also a way bigger time sink.
It is. Oh man,
you've lost months of your life to that game.
I have. I've lost months of my life, whole months.
I've lost entire day of my life. I think my strongest character is, I think he just passed the 24-hour mark.
I don't think so, because I think you played your mage far longer than that. You probably at least got 6 days on it.
Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to slash blade next time I'm in.
And then, hardcore gaming, and But one thing, if I have to talk about hardcore gaming, I have to talk about real casual gaming too. Because if you want to talk about casual gaming, you want to talk about like Candy Crush Saga.
I am good at puzzle games. We were just playing Puzzle Fighter.
Puzzle Fighter is real fun, but like I'm talking like puzzle games could be hardcore too. But I'm talking like the very casual games like Candy Crush, and and people are hardcore for it.
Oh, I know. They get up to like level 300 or something.
But that doesn't make it hardcore gaming, like per se, because like all it is
just hardcore into casual games.
Are very very much hardcore, and there are people who are casual into hardcore games too. Like I'm kind of casual.
How long have I been? We started playing WoW shortly after or before Burning Crusade.
It was after Burning Crusade,
but it was pretty short, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, shortly after Burning Crusade, and my highest level guy is 68, I think.
Except you got your 90 from the.
Well, yeah, but that was buying Draenor, and that's kind of cheap. Way to get it. But
I've been thinking about doing that too, but I don't know if I really want to invest back into WoW because like whenever you think of MMO addicts, I am one of those MMO addicts. Like I remember you calling and saying, "Hey, you want to hang out?" Like, nah, I'm playing WoW.
I know. What a douche.
I'll tell you, like, I've had to get to where I have to be able to stop playing a game. The only exception to that is if I'm playing a game that has, like, matches. Like,
where you can just say, okay, I'll turn it off after this.
Yeah, I'll stop after this match of League, and then 45 minutes later I still haven't finished that match.
That's another reason why I don't play League too often. Well, I like pick up and play games, but I also like being able to put them down. That's what's so perfect. I always keep my 3DS by my computer. I've been playing. I was telling him earlier. I've been playing Shining Force 2, Sword of Hyjal, and it's perfect. The battles are bite-sized, and even if something comes up in the middle of it, I just flip my DS closed. I go on my way, and I hear that thing again. It's something in the room, and it sounds like one of those stupid holiday ties. You know, the beep, 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 beep. And I swear it's somewhere, and I'm not crazy.
Wonder if that's my phone.
It might be your phone, I don't know.
I continue talking, I'll go check.
Well, while Chicken's away, I shall list off some of my favorite words. Bumbershoot, didgeridoo, Egg McMuffin, Flanders, Jester, Mies, and I guess that's it. Okay. But yeah, so what I was talking about earlier was Game Gear. Game Gear was an extremely underrated console. I had one growing up. That's all I had for handheld games until about, well, whenever Pokemon came out, because I watched the cartoon, I collected the toys, so naturally I had to get the game as soon as I could, so that February for my birthday, I got a copy of Pokemon and a Game Boy. And it was pretty awesome. At our school, you couldn't have a social life if you didn't have a Game Boy and Pokemon. That's really where my kind of love interest with multiplayer gaming, and I'm a big proponent of offline couch co-op. It's hard for me to get into online gaming because it's, number one, if I'm playing online, I really don't want to chat with people that I don't know. I don't know, I'm kind of weird like that. I think it's a little, some form of an anxiety. But it's just, there's nothing like, you know, if your buddy is on the couch next to you and you're playing games and he picks Oddjob, you can just sock him in the arm. And, you know, you can't do that whenever you're playing online.
At least for the sake of the audience, let them know what you're talking about when you're talking about Oddjob.
GoldenEye. Playing GoldenEye back on N64. Oddjob is the only character that's shorter than the targeting reticule.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time you can go around and just aim and shoot, right? But
yeah.
Like
that's pretty good auto aim.
Yeah, but Oddjob was short enough that he missed the auto aim, and
which is weird because he isn't even that short. The guy that played him.
I know. I want to say he was actually
it looked like he was supposed to be like Tattoo from Pleasure Island or whatever, Pleasure Island?
No,
Fantasy Island.
No. He was taller than that. He was.
I know, but still.
And he's. But I was listening to you while I was downstairs, And
I think we're in our 4th video by now, at least.
Yeah, I know. I'll probably just upload this another day when I get some gameplay. I'll probably toss on some footage elsewhere. Like, I'll probably record some more footage for this.
Put some Street Fighter 3 in it.
Ah, dude, I could totally.
You could, and then you'd see how mediocre we are at it.
Yeah.
Me more so.
I think I'm a little bit better at Street Fighter because I've been playing Killer Instinct and I've been getting a little bit more into fighting games.
I know, and it just destroys me because I remember sitting around playing Xbox back in the day, and we'd load up, Capcom versus SNK or something. And I'd be, oh Lord, do you remember when I got it for GameCube and I had the cheater stick?
Yes.
Instant super moves through the C stick.
Yeah.
If you thought C sticking in Melee was cheap,
yeah, you should try C-sticking in there because you can unleash ultra combos.
Just fireball, fireball, fireball.
Yeah, and it wasn't like C-sticking in Melee because like you could bring up a little diagram of where to put it, and it wasn't like it was like this like left or right or up or down. It was like certain places, like certain degrees on the stick. It was really weird, and they were odd too. Like in one place, like you had to hit like within 5 degrees of the circle to get this one certain move off.
Really? I thought it was just 8 different moves.
No.
Oh, okay.
Like
it's been a while since we played it because I ended up selling it like a week later because I got so mad at it.
Yeah, and then what else? A lot of. I really get into fighting games. Like I'm never going to be like a competitive Evo player by any means, right. But I really do enjoy.
This is the most we've been playing since high school.
I know.
I mean, whenever we'd be playing Dead or Alive Ultimate 2
or the DOA 4 even like
DOA 4 I didn't play that much of. We played some of it, but not as much as we did 2.
It was my first 360 game.
Right.
And we played it quite a bit.
Let's see, there was that, King of Fighters, Guilty Gear X2.
Oh, Guilty Gear. Oh, so good.
It was fantastic.
Soul Bad Guy.
Who was my... Oh, Fausta! Fausta! Yeah, Faust was my guy. Also, let's go ahead and tell the origin story of how aCHICKENsammich and I met. So basically...
Well, we knew each other for years, but the way we became good friends is after I got my driver's license, and we were about like sophomore year.
Yeah.
In high school.
Was it sophomore or freshman?
It was 10th grade.
Yeah. Okay. And we were the only 2 guys in our AP English class.
Only 2 guys, and then and it wasn't the only class we had because I remember like it was like our last class of the day we were it was like creative writing.
Right. Yeah.
And there were a couple days where just like hey, we kind of know each other. What's up? And then he goes, hey, do you like F-Zero? I go, I love F-Zero. Hey, I got F-Zero X at my house. I'm like, oh, cool. I also have Dungeon Dice Monsters. What?
I still wish that would have been a thing.
Like even me, I wish I was kind of a thing because that was kind of cool. I kind of.
Did you ever see the Japanese version? You actually had independent monster dice that unfolded into the squares.
Oh, dude!
I always wanted to get a set. Dungeon Dice Monsters was an offshoot of Yu-Gi-Oh! For those unaware. That is the one that I wanted to be the most popular. The second one was Capsule Chess. I really wanted Capsule Chess to be a real thing in America. It is in Japan. I mean,
I know. Like Japan gets all the cool stuff. Like if we could move to Japan, that would be like great. But I don't want to pay their high rent.
Well, they're high everything.
Well, still, like the rent is what is.
Yeah.
You know
that, and we don't speak the language.
Yet. Yes. Total immersion, man. That's the way to do it.
just dive right in. Well, Piero and Largo style.
Yeah. What we need to do is just like get into a plane, fly over Japan, parachute into the country randomly. Just don't even know what city we're in.
Right. With a pack of cigarettes and a plastic baggie in your stomach.
Yes. And the plastic baggie has brownies.
Yes.
Yes. Then, man, that's
This has been pretty good ranting.
This has been pretty good.
We could fill a podcast.
We could totally fill a podcast.
We could totally fill a podcast. We need to get Brenton on this.
I know.
You should follow him. He's a great guy. I think he's B-Sideswipe Productions on YouTube, something like that. I don't know. We might link it. We might not. I don't know. It's a mystery. The only person who'll know is you, because you're right there and you can see the description.
I know. Man. What was I going to say? There was...
was it something about... Last Core.
Last Core. Oh, so good.
I like just sending you on tangents.
Oh, Blast Core was so good. That was one of the first Nintendo 64 games I ever played. It was one of the many great rare titles out there for the Nintendo 64. Because
rare games were not that rare, Steve.
They are now.
They are now, because all you get is Kinect games and Killer Instinct, and that's not even rare anymore.
It's Rare's title, but it was developed by Double Helix, and now it's going to be done by Iron Galaxy, which did Third Strike.
That's right. Which we were just playing, which featured Kevin Bacon.
Yes. Actually, I think it's kind of weird that one development company gets reins over both, like a Street Fighter title and Killer Instinct.
Now all we need to do is get him in on a Guilty Gear game.
Well, I'm talking like the big three in America. Like we got our Street Fighters, we got our Mortal Kombat.
Right. Well, what about? I guess King of Fighters isn't that huge. Saddens me to say, I'm a King of Fighters fanboy. Mm-hmm. I really love them.
I mean, I like King of Fighters too, but I'm talking like the ones that have been most successful in America.
Right.
Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and probably currently Killer Instinct.
And in 1994.
And in
Five.
They've been the most successful franchises in America.
Well, no, I was just trying to remember whenever it came out.
Yeah.
I'm wanting to say 5.
Well,
quote check me on that.
One game company has touched 2 of the big 3 fighters, in my opinion, in America.
Right. But NetherRealm doing as well as they have. I mean, I don't think they're going to get... I don't think they have to worry about losing the reins anytime soon.
No. They're still very good. I'm, of course, personally, I'm not a Mortal Kombat style fighter.
I'm not either, but man, I play everyone that comes out. I always have fun, but it's like at the end of the day, I know my cousin and we both like very different games. He's more of a shooter fan. I'm more of an RPG guy. You know, we go back and forth, but it's like at the end of the day, if we end up playing fighting games, we always play Mortal Kombat first.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's his game. And then I get mad because I can't win, and we play Street Fighter, and I win.
Yeah, and you immediately go to Ken and just like, let's do this hardcore style.
And then I just trap him in the corner with Tatsumaki Seppukens and Dragon Punches.
Yeah, and then my favorite character is Cammy.
Yep.
And
my favorite out of the whole series, though, I love Ken, and I'm the best with him, but my favorite is Dudley by far.
Yeah.
How can you not love an English gentleman boxer?
Yeah.
Who throws a rose on your body after he beats the snot out of you?
Yep. I mean, Cammy's been my favorite for a long time. I particularly got good with her whenever Street Fighter 4 came out, and then when I just love her. And then
I'm just thinking about her butt right now.
I am. Oh my god, Cammy's butt. Also, I kind of started liking her whenever I watched the Street Fighter 2 anime.
I thought you were about to say the cartoon, the awful Deke one. You know, yes! Yes!
No, I'm talking about the...
Wow, that clipped the mic bad.
Yeah, it did. Sorry about that, audience, if you make it this far into the podcast. And if you do,
good for you.
Like, favorite, subscribe. Come on.
Exactly. Steve, throw in a confetti burst form.
Yeah. If that is... what was I talking about? Oh, the Street Fighter 2 anime. That was... I'm not saying it's one of my first animes, but it was...
it was the first one that I watched that was adult in some way.
Yeah, kind of, because
it was violent. It had nudity in it.
No, it didn't actually have nudity in it. You're thinking about the Street Fighter animated film.
Okay, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about Street Fighter 2.
I don't think I've seen that one. I think you tried to show it to me, but
it was done by Stars Media.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So it's probably on their app on the Xbox.
Let's go watch it.
I know. It had a lot of like murderous things going on. Like Vega was trying to murder Ken, trying to woo Chun-Li, and
wasn't murder kind of the whole point of Street Fighter?
Well, not like in like the Deke series, but like in this one right here, like Ken gets stabbed in the chest with Vega's claws, and like
are they sharp on top? I wonder.
I don't know, but at one point they're in a steel cage match in Barcelona, and there's all these people watching on tables like a fancy restaurant, and eventually like Ken does a Shoryuken type move, because it's not like a real Shoryuken like with flame or whatever.
Right.
He takes and knocks him up into a chandelier, and Vega is just sitting there bleeding all over the floor and everything like that, hanging from the chandelier, and he's almost dead. He's near death, and as one last move, he's trying to aim his claw down, and when he falls off the chandelier, he's going to kill Ken. And then there was a lot of dark stuff in there, and also it kind of changed the mythos behind Ken and Ryu a little bit when of how they discovered Hado. They called it Hado in this. It's the energy they use.
Right. Like basically the chi.
Basically their chi, but there were several scenes in the series where Ken is standing at a beach. He's doing what Goku did in Dragon Ball Z, doing Hadokens into the ocean, doing and it looked like a Kamehameha wave, like
right.
That's what it was more like instead of like a fireball. And then and the reason why I bring this up, this series in particular, was Cammy. Cammy was an assassin. If most people know the storyline behind Street Fighter, like in the game,
was she Shadowloo at this point?
She wasn't Shadowloo. She was still MI6. But what she was doing was she was given a false tip, like by Shadowloo, like Balrog was her liaison, and
he wanted to know what she wanted to do with those tapes.
Yep. And he gave her a tip. He was a spy in the CIA or something like that. Gave her a tip that Chun-Li's father, who was an officer in Interpol, was a spy for Shadowloo, and she was sent to assassinate him. And I mean, you didn't see her in her like unitard or anything like that.
Right.
Like you've seen her in in like a suit. And that's what kind of got me fascinated, because I didn't know she was British at that point. Like I started learning about it.
Did she have the accent?
She did have the accent, I think. I don't know. It's been years since I've watched the series.
Right.
But the series was really good. Eventually, you see Dark Ryu and Dark Chun-Li. And
Dark Chun-Li, I've never even heard of her.
She's a mind-controlled version that Bison.
Right.
Mind control.
But I mean, like in most games, I mean, in a lot of games, you'll have Evil Ryu. You know, even in the new, not new anymore, but the arcade edition of Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter Alpha 3. You know, you'll always fight Evil Ryu at some point. But I've never heard of Evil Chun-Li.
Well, in this anime series, it was the only time you ever seen her in her traditional garb with her spiked wrist cuffs and everything like that. Otherwise, she
dressed like a police officer?
No, she wasn't. I don't think she was a police officer. She was actually a tour guide at the beginning of the series, and then she just kind of started following Ken and Ryu.
Wasn't that what she was like covering as in the movie, the Jean-Claude Van Damme one?
I don't know, because I've never seen that.
You haven't?
No.
Oh, it's awful. You have to watch it.
No, it's awful, and I have to watch it. I've seen scenes from it. And the only thing that draws me to the movie was it is Raul Julia's last film.
Poor guy.
I know.
I think he took the job because he showed his kids 2 scripts and he was like, "What do you want me to do?" And they were like, "Do Street Fighter."
That's like as a fading memory of Raul Julia. I I love Raul Julia and the Addams Family.
Yep. Yep. He was just great.
And then and I completely you have to ignore the Street Fighter because they cast a French guy to play the American guy, like the all-American hero guy, William T. Guile.
William T. Guile. Is that really his name?
I think. If you watch Street Fighter on Deke, I think there's like Colonel William T. Guile, and they're sitting there running towards the screen, and then all of a sudden...
yeah, because it was a 90s cartoon. You had to have run towards the screen in the intro.
I know, and then...
that in anime from any generation whatsoever.
At some point, there has to be a walking or moving towards the camera in some way.
Moving towards the camera, and then also at some point moving away from the camera, usually during the end credits.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps near railroad tracks. Perhaps
like the Incredible
down a dirt road.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps you know, I don't know.
Yep,
floating away in space.
Yeah. Or like the anime Vandred is one of them that comes to mind. It has the main character
Vandred.
Vandred. Yes, it's an anime. I think it was done by
Is that the Sega one?
No. It was about.
I'm thinking of Gungrave.
It was an anime that was also on Stars. Like a lot of the anime I watched for a while was on Stars on Saturday nights. Whenever Toonami wasn't showing anime or something like that, we'd go into Adult Swim or something. And Vandred was on there, and Vandred's on Netflix, so I kind of recommend going and checking that out. I think it's on Netflix. It was on Netflix at one point.
Steve, if you're lying about this, I'll beat you to death with a hammer.
It was on Netflix at one point because I watched.
Of course it was.
Well, Netflix cycles their anime so much.
I know.
Like it drives me nuts that the fact that I found some favorite anime on Netflix and I can't watch it now because it's no longer on there.
Right, and you're like, oh, I'll just watch it whenever I get done with this series.
I know, and I'm saying like I'd like to go back and watch Air Gear again, and like
they took Air Gear off.
Yeah, they took Air Gear off. And,
how lame!
It's like one of my favorite animes.
It just had everything.
It did. Episode 6 of Air Gear was probably one of my favorites, where they go on a field trip and
he takes a dump outside.
He's sitting there naked, taking a dump, and everybody's like, "Why are you naked?" He's like, "You know what? Every time I go on a field trip, I gotta poop." But I'm sitting there focused on watching the Smash. Anyways, there's so many great animes that you just gotta check it out. Like right now, I'm waiting for season 2 of Fairy Tail.
See, I guess I need to watch more of it because it just hasn't hooked me yet. I really like it, but it's like it feels too much like standard issue shonen anime.
Yeah, but the thing about it is to me, it kind of like the animation style and the character designs it kind of reminds me of One Piece in a way.
It does,
and that's kind of charming. And then there's, the story. Like I watched the whole first season on Netflix, and like the story is kind of really good. And then,
cat, get off the phone, cat.
Then just to make a phone call. Yow.
I just don't want his butthole on my phone.
I got that chocolate covered starfish, sir.
Gross. Well, I think that's our cue to wrap it up.
Yeah, well, we've been doing this for about an hour, and I think it's been pretty good so far.
It has been.
Like,
let's turn it off and immediately record more.
I know, right? Well, I gotta go to bed soon. There's me gotta go to work in the morning.
That's lame.
Yeah, I know. But I got 2 days off afterwards, so.
There you go.
Well, guys, if you have stayed this far, I appreciate you guys doing such.
Like, comment, subscribe.
I gotta get that shameless plug.
Plug it right on in there.
I know. It's like, we didn't really plan on this being this long, but I think I've enjoyed it.
I've enjoyed it as well. Maybe we'll do real podcasts.
I know. I'm going to post this up to my channel, and seriously, if you guys have made it this far, I really appreciate it.
Let us know. Give us ideas for stuff to talk about.
Exactly, and
we need topics desperately.
Oh, definitely. But the thing about it is like, we don't need topics so desperately because, like, I can go on tangents all day. Like one day I may just pull up Wikipedia and just like, oh, hey, let's talk about this, and then I'll click a link and then keep going like this and do the old Wikipedia thing. It's like, how many pages have you gone through? Oh, about 20. I was gone for 5 minutes. Kind of thing.
See, I do the same thing on TV tropes.
So, all right, guys. Thank you for listening to the podcast.